of Imam Hussain.
Once again, in every corner of the world, Imam Hussain, may Allah be pleased with him, is remembered, with words, tears in the eyes, mourning in the hearts, and slogans in processions. But why? What exactly happened on the 10th of Muharram, 680, that even after more than 1400 years, the world still remembers this event? Let us try to understand this event from the beginning. This is the story of the tragedy of Karbala. This is the tragedy foretold by the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. This story begins about 50 years after the passing of the Prophet, when Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, was martyred. After Ali, his son Hassan, may Allah be pleased with him, ruled for 6 months, and then he too was martyred. But before his death, Hassan, following Ali's will, eliminated his killer, and soon after, he signed a peace treaty with Muawiyah, may Allah be pleased with him, so that further bloodshed could be avoided. Hassan handed over power to Muawiyah on the condition that Muawiyah would be a just ruler and would not establish a hereditary dynasty. After Hassan, his brother Hussein, may Allah be pleased with him, became the leader of the Banu Hashim tribe. After signing the peace treaty with Hassan, Muawiyah consolidated the caliphate and ruled for about 20 years. During those 20 years, there were no disputes, no bloodshed, and no destruction. But in the 10th year of his rule, Mughira bin Shuba, may Allah be pleased with him, a senior companion, advised that there had been much civil strife over the nomination of the caliphate, and if the situation remained the same after Muawiyah's death, there would be conflicts and turmoil. Therefore, he suggested nominating someone and further advised nominating Muawiyah's son, Yazid. Initially, Muawiyah refused, but after careful consideration, he agreed that the suggestion was valid. Thus, in the 10th year of Muawiyah's rule, Yazid was nominated. At that time, everyone accepted this decision except for 5 individuals: Abdul Rahman ibn Abu Bakr, Abdullah ibn Omar, Abdullah ibn Abbas, Abdullah ibn Zubair, and Hassan ibn Ali. May Allah be pleased with them all. When Muawiyah passed away, the time came for Yazid's pledge of allegiance. By then, Abdul Rahman ibn Abu Bakr had already passed away. Now only 4 people remained who challenged Yazid's pledge. However, even among these 4, differences arose. Abdullah ibn Umar and Abdullah ibn Abbas were of the opinion that, although the matter was wrong, but it was not significant enough to start bloodshed. But Abdullah ibn Zubair and Hussein ibn Ali believed they should challenge it. Yet there was a disagreement between these two as well. Abdullah ibn Zubair's opinion was to stay in the Hijaz and start a resistance movement, as Yazid's government was based in Damascus. Meanwhile, letters were arriving from Kufa saying, "Hussein, come to us. We will pledge allegiance to you, and we will establish a government against Yazid." Therefore, Hussein decided to go to Kufa. Abdullah ibn Zubair and Abdullah ibn Abbas strongly advised against it, saying, "Do not go. The people of Kufa will not support you, and if you must go, leave your family behind." But Hussein followed his conscience and began preparations to go to Kufa. Imam Hussain first sent his cousin, Muslim bin Aqil, may Allah be pleased with him, to Kufa to assess the actual situation. As soon as Muslim bin Aqil arrived, 12,000 Kufans pledged allegiance to him. Inspired by the enthusiasm of the Kufans, Muslim bin Aqil wrote a letter to Hussein, urging him to come to Kufa. This made the decision even firmer. So after reading the letter, Imam Hussain set out for Kufa with his family. While they were still on the way, they learned that Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad had arrived as governor, and due to his oppression, everyone had abandoned their pledge and fled, and Muslim bin Aqil had been martyred. Imam Hussain decided to return, but Muslim bin Aqil's son said, "We will not leave without avenging our father." So Imam Hussain agreed to their request, for how could he leave them alone? When Hussein and his caravan reached Qadisiyah, they were confronted by Yazid's army. The army stopped them and forced them to set up camp at the place called Karbala. At that moment, Hussein presented 3 options. Let me return to the place I came from, or send me to a border so that I may fight the disbelievers and be martyred, or move out of my way so that I can settle my matter with Yazid. But they said, pledge allegiance here and now. However, Imam Hussain was not ready to comply. After that, those oppressors cut off the water supply to the caravan, hoping to force Hussein to pledge allegiance. But Hussein was ready to make every sacrifice for the truth. Thus, they blocked access to the river. That river was the Euphrates River. This is the river about which the Prophet had said that near the Day of Judgment, gold would emerge from it and people would fight over it. So when the water was cut off from the caravan, the people began to suffer from thirst. The caravan included children from 6 months to 13 years old. But those oppressors showed no mercy at all. At that time, the temperature in Karbala was 40 to 45 degrees Celsius. In such heat, if one drinks water once, it's impossible to survive for more than 2 hours. But they had no water for 4 consecutive days. Imagine what they must have endured. In short, on the 10th of Muharram, 680, the battle broke out. We cannot call it a battle because on one side were 72 people, and on the other side was an army of thousands. Yet those 72 thirsty lions fought in such a way that words cannot describe their bravery. Fighting against thousands, Hussein's companions were martyred one by one before his eyes, and Hussein was left alone. Now only one lion remained. At first he fought on horseback, but when his horse was killed, he fought on foot. This lion, thirsty for 4 days, fought in such a manner that those around him were left in awe. While fighting, Imam Hussein's body sustained 45 wounds from arrows, yet he continued to fight. Finally, a group attacked him and martyred him. Those oppressors cut off the water, martyred Hussein and his companions, including children, but their cruelty did not end there. After that, they trampled the bodies of the martyrs with horses, set fire to the tents, arrested the Ahlulbayt, and finally severed the blessed head from Hussein's body and sent it, along with the prisoners, to Yazid's court. It was not only humanity that wept over this oppression, the entire universe was enraged. The sky turned red, tears of blood fell, earthquakes struck, and a solar eclipse occurred. Nelson Mandela said, "I spent 20 years in prison. One night I decided to sign all the conditions to gain my release. But then I remembered Imam Hussain and the event of Karbala, and I stood firm on my decision." Mahatma Gandhi said, "If I had 72 people like Hussein's companions with me, I would have freed India in 24 hours. Rajendra Prasad, the first president of India, said, "Imam Hussein's sacrifice is not limited to one state or nation. It is the great heritage of all humanity. For the sake of truth, they offered the sacrifice of their lives, and this is why, even after more than 1,400 years, the world remembers them today, and their story remains a living example for the world." Hussein's story is not limited to Muslims alone. It is a living example for people of every religion. So what lesson do we learn from Hussein's story? The lesson we learn is to raise your voice for the truth, even if you are sentenced to death. Even today, the Yazidism exists in the world, but the question is, are you standing with the truth, or will you remain a silent spectator? Karbala does not only ask for tears, it demands character. Thank you so much for watching the video till the end. If you're feeling tired, you can have some fun by clicking the like and subscribe buttons below. And yes, don't forget to share and comment too. Also, if you haven't watched this video yet, go ahead and check it out now.